Hello, Basic Math 7-2. This is part 2 of our lesson on 9-3, dealing with computing percents, okay? Today's problems all have to do with these two different kinds of phrases that I have up here on the board, all right? Now, they both mean the same thing, they're just kind of flip-flopped, all right? All of these, fortunately, are multiplication problems today. They should be relatively easy. I'm going to go through a couple of the class exercises and then maybe one or two of the written exercises in the book today, and then I'll let you go at it, okay? This shouldn't be too hard today. We're doing multiplication. It's a little bit easier than doing the division part. So let's take a look at these problems. Look at it. First of all, we need to recognize the word sentence that they have set up for us. They all start off with what number is or what is, and then they give the percent, and then give the word of, and then they give another number. From yesterday's lesson, we can break each of these sentences down and put a symbol to make it into a number sentence instead of a word sentence. The other way they do it is some percent number of something is what number. Basically, they just flip the sentence around. Okay, it's the same thing, they just flip it over. All right, so let's look at a class exercise. If you're looking at it in the book, you can see that number 1 on the class exercise is exactly this. It says what number is, and then they have 10% of 920. Okay, so what we do from this is we break it down. What number? We don't know what that number is, so we give it the letter N. The word is means equals, and then we put 10% of means multiply, and then the other number. So we're going to take 10% times 920. The trick is that we got to change our percent to a decimal. If you remember, go ahead and put your decimal. If there's not a decimal already in the percent that we're working with, the decimal starts right here. We move it to the left 2 places. So basically, we're taking 0.1 or 0.10 in this problem times 920. So I go ahead and do that. Of course, if I do the zeros, I can do that. 0 times 0, 0 times anything is 0. Keep a place for my tens place and then multiply by the 1. 0, 2, 9. Add it. 0, 0, 2, 9. Pretty easy addition. Final step. Remember our final step. Count how many numbers, when we're multiplying with the decimal, count how many numbers are behind the decimal, and then move it to the left that many places. In this case, I have 2 numbers. So my answer in this one is, the number that is 10% of 920 is 92. Okay? If we do one that uses the other wordage, let's use one of those. Okay? Number 5. It says 40% of 25 is what number? Once again, break down the words and make them into symbols so that we can make a number sentence out of it. 40%. The word of means multiply. Then we put the next number down, 25. The word is means equals, and whenever we see the word what number or what, we put the variable of n. So what number? We don't know what number that is. Okay, that's what we're trying to find out. So basically all we do is take 25 times the 40%. Once again, move forward, move our decimal place 2 places over. We multiply by a decimal. So the first step is always in these problems, change your percent to a decimal. Okay? So I change my percent to a decimal, then I multiply it times the other number. Okay? The reason I do that is because the word of in between these two means multiply. When I have both of these numbers, it's going to be a multiplication problem. Okay, so let's do that. 0, 0, add a 0 or add a place. 4 times 5 is 220. Carry the 2 over. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2 is 10. Bring them down. How many numbers behind the decimal here? I have 2, so I'm going to put 2 numbers behind the decimal. 10, n equals 10 right there. So 40% of 25 is the number 10. Okay? All right, let's do 2 problems from today's lesson, and then I'm going to let you go. It's not that hard of a lesson today. Everything is going to be a multiplication problem. It won't be division. The trick is, like I said, change your percent to a decimal before you multiply. Okay, so let's see what number 2 is. Number 2 is the first one, and that one's set up like this problem. So it says, what number is 76% of 350? N equals 76% times 350. Once again, of means time, is means equals. All right. Next step, change our 76% to a decimal. Move the decimal to over 2 places. Now I take 350 times 0.76. Okay, 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 3. 19, 20, 21. Add a place. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35. The same, I move the 3. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 3 is 24. Bring down a 0, bring down a 0. 5 plus 1 is 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. 2. Move my decimal place 2 places. So my answer here is n equals 266. Problem number 2 for us. Okay, we got one of those done. Let's do one of the other kind. One of the other kind. Here we go. Everybody see that? A lot of this we have to think of, okay, 70% of 350, you have to use some logical sense too. Okay, so when you come down to the answer and you say, okay, 76% of 350 is a lot. That's over half of that number. So my number should be over half of what my original number is. Okay? So that puts some thought process into what you're doing. You got to watch out. Some of these problems may ask you to multiply by more than 100%. So in those cases, your number better be more than your original number that you're finding the percent of. So you have to think about that. Does your answer make sense? Okay? When your answer makes sense, you know, it's probably most likely going to be the right answer. Okay? So you have to look at it and say, 266, that's almost 350. Yeah, that's about 76% of that number. That's right. If I had something like I would want to know it was 25% of 350 and I got that number, I'd go, whoa, there's something wrong here. I did something wrong. I better go back and check my math. That's why I tell you, think about the answer that you get. Does it make sense? Is it close? All right? You can kind of guess or use some estimates to figure it out a little bit, to understand that, yeah, my answer's pretty close, so I'm going to believe it. All right. One more problem. Do we have number 7. What does number 7 look like? No. Number 8. Let's look at 8. There we go. 8 is 96%. That's most of the number of 85 is what number? So before we even do this problem, we're going to say the answer is going to be really close to 85. It's not going to be over 85, but it's going to be really close. If this percent was over 100, then yeah, my answer is going to be over 85. But we know 96% of a number is almost all of it. So let's see how we do. So 96% of means times 85 is the number we're trying to figure, is means equals, and we have n. So, step 1, convert 96% to a decimal. Move the decimal place over twice. Now we multiply. 96 times 85. 5 times 6, 30. 8 times 6, 48 plus 3, 49, 50, 51. Hold the place for the 10 spot. 9 times 5, 45. 9 times 8, 72, plus 4, 76. Add 0, 5 plus 1 is 6, 5 plus 6 is 11, carry my 1, 7 plus 1, 8. Last step, move my decimal place twice. In this problem, I have a decimal, okay? Once again, it says round your answer to the nearest tenth of a percent if necessary. These are not percentages. So the answers today do not need to be rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent, okay? Because we're not dealing with finding a percent answer on these. I hope that's clear. So our answer on this one ends up being 81.6. And we said this was problem number 8. Okay, I did one of each kind of problem on the practice class exercises. I did 2 of our problems out of the 7 or 8 that we have to do for the written exercises today. Get after the rest of them. Pretty simple to do today. Remember to change that decimal to a percent to a decimal before you multiply, and then move your decimal correctly in your answer. Good luck, and go after it. We'll start again on Monday and finish up the rest of the style of problems of these. All right, talk to you later.